everybody. Welcome to the second show we have going here on Mega Powers Radio, here on blogtalkradio.com/Mega Powers Radio. It is Monday, June 17th, and Monday Night Raw has just concluded. It is the Raw right after Payback, and we saw all the fallout unfold. And we also had a running theme, I think, of returns tonight. We saw a return of three people to Raw, you could say. We saw CM Punk making his return to Raw. We saw Brock Lesnar making a return tonight. And we saw Christian making a return tonight. So lots of great returns. I'm your host, Mike. Let me introduce everybody we got going on here. I'm from the Keeping Kayfabe podcast. Also from the Keeping Kayfabe podcast, we have Braeden Liggan. How's it going, Brendan?
Oh, I'm just thrilled to be here. We're going to get sued for that theme song, by the way.
Are we?
I think it's a possibility.
Oh, we'll look into that.
Yeah,
we'll get the intern lawyers on it.
Yeah, we'll do it until they send us a cease and desist letter.
Send in the Jews.
Just change one little note instead of dun 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 dun. Just go dun do or something.
We'll do the WCW method on it.
Yeah.
From the Smark Out Moment podcast, and as well as Fanboys Anonymous and various other projects, we have Tony Mango. Tony, what's shaking?
Not a whole lot, but Michael J. Fox.
That was
easy. Come on.
Now we're going to get sued for slander, too. We have Spood Beast himself from YouTube. We have Braeden Mayhew. What's shaking, Braeden?
Oh, apparently a whole lot of F5s are in the air, so that's one thing. As well, we will touch upon that later in the show. So and a pretty decent pay-per-view last night as well. So a lot of good things wrestling, at least to start off the summer.
Absolutely, and if you want to hear us talking about this past Sunday's pay-per-view Payback, the best place to go for that will be listening to this week's Smark Out Moment podcast, Smack Talk, which you can find on YouTube at, youtube.com/SmarkOutMoment is your address?
Ding, ding, ding.
We'll get more of a plug for that a little bit later on, but just in case you're curious, we'll be doing a full Payback review later on. We're going to be sticking mostly to talking about Monday Night Raw tonight. So, gentlemen, overall thoughts, what do you think of tonight's Raw?
Not bad.
It was a good Raw, and I think it was just as good as the Payback pay-per-view.
I mean, I just want to say one thing, but I know, as I said, we weren't going to go deep into our Payback reviews. Payback was an unexpected surprise at how good it actually was. Raw was just, I don't know.
I agree, Paden. It was kind of meh. I mean, I liked some matches. I thought the Orton Daniel Bryan match was good. I loved the Henry swerve. I loved CM Punk's promo at the beginning. I loved the ending, but the rest of it was just kind of your average Raw.
Well, I don't even know where to start this thing. I mean, the beginning of the show had who came out first? I actually didn't even see the first segment. Was it Alberto Del Rio was coming out first, celebrating his victory?
Yeah, he came out first and then cut a nice little promo on the crowd. First, he gave sort of a nice little face promo and then slowly turned. And that sort of initiated Punk to come out and cut his own promo on Del Rio. So it was a positive reaction for Punk. It's kind of one of those things, you knew that the turn was coming, especially after what he did to Ziggler at the Payback pay-per-view. But it was all so sweet when he did it. I thought it was a well-done promo by Del Rio, and as Tony said to me on chat, it kind of made things interesting. It gave Del Rio that sort of that interest that his face character never actually had.
Now that Del Rio is champion and that he's a heel, where do we see him going next? When we saw him having a little face-to-face with Punk here, obviously that's how we can continue to do it. At the end of Raw, we saw Del Rio going for a walkout countout, and he was attacked from behind by Ziggler. Is Ziggler going to get this back? Was this all just a temporary thing just to make the double turn happen? Or is Del Rio going to carry this going forward, and is he going to go on to somebody else?
He might carry it for a bit and kind of have test Ziggler as for chasing the title, but I think the whole reason for him winning it back and doing this whole let's exploit the concussion and sort of thing was to accomplish a double turn, and it worked pretty well. I would say from last night to tonight. I would like to see where they keep this going come tomorrow too, when they tape SmackDown. So we'll see where it heads into the next pay-per-view, but the title switch, I would say it was mainly just for the double turn in general. I do not know how long Del Rio is going to hold it, but I would assume he drops it back to Dolph at this point.
I don't think any of this was planned.
Really?
I don't think that when they were going into Extreme Rules they ever had any intention for this, and I don't even think when they started building to Payback after Extreme Rules that they had any intention for this. I think that a week or two ago they just kind of went, yeah, fuck it, let's just do that. And I think right now they don't have a plan. But what I'm hoping is that one of two things happens. Either, and I don't think that this first one will happen, but either Daniel Bryan wins Money in the Bank and cashes in on Dolph Ziggler at Money in the Bank, or Dolph Ziggler just beats Del Rio at Money in the Bank or SummerSlam at the very latest. I do not want to see Del Rio holding this championship for longer than SummerSlam.
I think it is a short-term title reign. It's not going to be anything big. As Braeden was stating, it's more just to establish the double turn, to show that Del Rio is ruthless and maybe pick up a feud between him and Ziggler for Money in the Bank, but I don't see it lasting any further than that.
I like what Anthony has to say about Bryan and Ziggler. I think that would be a very good matchup to watch, very entertaining. They're both very similar athletic types, but either one of their characters has to go through a major turn or a major change, and I don't really see that happening with, I mean, it would happen with Bryan if it happened with anybody, because they're not going to change Dolph Ziggler, who he is. His character is just, I love the show off. I tune in to watch him every night.
All right, guys, we got a caller coming in. Caller from the 412 area code. Caller, what's your name and where you're calling from?
I've talked to you guys before. It's JD in Pittsburgh. I talked to you guys last week. How are you guys doing this week?
Oh, fantastic. Welcome, JD. What's shaking, man?
Not much. As far as Raw goes tonight, the night after Payback in Grand Rapids, I got to say, not a bad show. I mean, I'm glad Christian's back. I don't know where they're going from here with him. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens, because now you got so many guys in the mid-card, like the Van Dangos, the Barretts, the Mizes, the Curtis Axels, and everything. So we'll have to see what happens there. As far as the Punk-Lesnar thing goes, I think you're definitely going to see it in Philadelphia. No question about it, especially after what happened at the end tonight. The whole Cena Henry thing, I mean, what can I say? I mean, everyone fell for it, hook, line, sinker. I fell for it. I think the whole people fought for it. I mean, I think they kind of pushed the button a little too far with that, if you ask me, mind you. And
man,
I mean, the guy was breaking down crying, literally. And I mean, I know it's the goal, but come on. I mean, the guy basically said his family cared for him in that. I mean, there was some serious talk at one point. Henry's going to hang it up, and if Henry doesn't win it here, I mean, I could see him maybe finally hanging up, but I just don't see that happening. But this whole thing with Triple H, Stephanie, Vince, and the whole Vicky thing, enough is enough. I mean, we're tired of seeing the McMahons week after week on our television. Seriously, it's getting back to what it was in the Attitude Era and post-Attitude Era with the McMahons on every week. I mean, I just don't know what they're going to do. And when are they going to debut with this whole Wyatt family? We've been seeing for the last 3 or 4 weeks, we're coming, we're here. When are they going to finally show up? What do you think they'll
They can at least give us
television?
a date. Something to know when it's actually going to happen, rather than just. I mean, in fact, like as you point out, they're using those specific words. We're coming. We're here. Okay, where are you?
Backstage.
Yeah.
NXT. That's where they are.
Yeah, his matches on NXT, if you watch him, he's really good. It's surprisingly.
Yeah, I've watched some of them. They are good.
You made some excellent points about Raw. JD, let me ask you, did you watch Payback?
Yeah.
What'd you think of Payback?
Payback, the only good part of, I mean, it's fairly decent. The Punk and Jericho obviously stole the show, and Punk definitely deserved to steal the show without question, because they've definitely turned him in face now, back to the face character, and I mean, that was the only highlight of the show for me, really, in all honesty. I didn't like the 3 Stages of Hell match. The tag match we've seen so many times over and over again, along with the U.S. title. The Divas thing involving AJ and Caitlyn. I mean, come on. We got AJ, the skippy, happy, bimbo floozy. And look what Stephanie did to her tonight, putting her in her place. Especially when she had the microphone down. And I think AJ, either one of them screwed up their line, or I think she got a little too chirpy, and maybe she just said something or did something wrong that really pissed off Stephanie, mind you. And that's why Stephanie got up in the face of her. And then when Stephanie turned on the other Divas, I was a little surprised about that, mind you. But Payback was a fairly decent show, but again, it wasn't one of their better shows. They'll probably change it again next June to another new name because, like I said, Punk and Jericho stole the show, and that was the only highlight of the show that sold the pay-per-view last night.
Now, we have all these McMahons involved. This has to be going somewhere. Otherwise, why would they bring them on, and why would they be focusing so much time on it? Where could you see this ultimately going? Is this possibly going to be the end of Vince McMahon? We're finally going to see the full shift of power over to Stephanie and Trips?
Does anybody think Shane's going to come back?
No.
Personally, I think, yes, they have to. And Vicky has, tonight was the first time in almost how long Vicky had full control almost of the entire show. Before that, last week, she had a little control. Now they're getting her back on TV again and giving her a little bit more power. But like I said, before that, she was hardly on television. I don't know what they're going to do, if you ask me.
Can they at least just end this whole Booker T general manager reign? Because Teddy Long's going to be the general manager of SmackDown for the rest of his life. I mean, that's his lot in life now. That's basically what he's known for.
I'll give you one better.
No, go
How
ahead.
about this? Not as far as GM goes, but can someone please tell Zeb Coulter to shut the hell up when he talks?
Mm-hmm.
He is the most annoying jackass there is. He's got Swagger in his stable, obviously, and Swagger, of course, won't be on TV for a good while because he's got his little hearing next week for his weed possession. And now he's got Antonio Cesaro, who basically has been fed to the mid-carders, mind you, time and again. Look what he did tonight against an out-of-shape, flabby William Regal, for God's sake. That was like a freaking, could have been a warm-up match rather than a match on the show. It was a lame match.
Well, in regards to the Teddy Long thing, you got to pay attention to the genius of this. What's Teddy Long's gimmick? Tag matches. So right now, the general manager thing, he's a tag team general manager with Booker T.
Playa.
There you go.
And that influence carried over so much that Raw has a tag team general manager thing, too.
You got to love how it's
exactly. He's starting to spread out there.
Wait, do they still call it a general manager on SmackDown?
They do, yeah.
Yeah, but on Raw, she's the managing supervisor.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's stupid. It's stupid.
They didn't understand that they just... apparently it was a title that she wanted, but it's not actually an official title, if that makes sense.
Because the McMahons and Triple H are usually on Raw, and they overthrow whatever she says or whatever.
We all know the Hornswoggle computer is really
one more thing, too, guys. What about this whole... you talk about tag teams, so, can we have JBL quit kissing the ass of the Shield on every show, just about? Seriously. He is the biggest ass kisser when it comes to the Shield.
Yeah, but he should be afraid of these outsiders. Bobby Heenan still, expressed fear and disgust from the NWO.
Yeah, but that's when Heenan was practically turning face, though, at that time. So that doesn't count in comparison to what Heenan used to do back in the WWF, WWE. And that was when he was basically kissing the ass of every single heel on the card. You had some kind of exceptions with Roddy Piper and Randy Savage, who were more sort of like the face commentator, with Vince playing sort of the play-by-play. So you can't really say that's not what he should be doing because, I remember way back when he returned, everyone was praising him for that because of the fact that he was an honest heel. The King wasn't. The King was just a face. And you need someone like that to give the balance onto the team, to vouch for the heels, to give the heels some sort of acknowledgement.
He can still acknowledge them, though, but he shouldn't be so two-dimensional that he should just be praising them just because they're heels. These are people that should be so disgusting that even the people who praise the bad guys.
He doesn't need to be the Shield's cheerleader like he is almost on every show. You're exactly right. And the thing is,
he can admit that they're powerful and all that.
But that's how it was in the Attitude Era with JR and Jerry. JR was always on the side of good, and Jerry was always siding with the heels. He thought the heel action was the best action because, let's face it, it really is.
The puppy action was the best action.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. My bad.
I still remember the day
let me ask you one last question before I go tonight, guys.
What's up, JD?
You talk about as far as the Wyatt family goes, we know they're coming up and everything like that. There's other guys down there in Florida too, like the Richie Steamboats, the Cassius Onos, the Summer I mean, we've seen some already, obviously, but like the Pages and the Baileys and all that. When are they going to start bringing these people up from Florida and give them a chance to shine on the roster? I mean, they've already got rid of some of the dead weights, somewhat like Santino and a couple other guys, but it's time to start making some roster cuts again. And some of the guys who aren't cutting the mustard, like the Alex Rileys, and like I said, I hate to. I mean, what do you think about those guys maybe making a chance to come up to the roster?
Well, I'll tell you why. They don't want to rush people up until they're sure that they got something specifically and a spot for them that's going to fit for them. I mean, the best examples I can think of is look at the initial come up of Michael McGillicuddy and Husky Harris. They just brought them up as dudes just to throw into the Nexus, and it absolutely flopped. But they gave them a couple more years seasoning. They figured out good characters for them. They came back years later. And they came back a few years later, and now we got Curtis Axel and Bray Wyatt, two of the hottest stars coming into 2013. So they got to figure out.
A champion.
That's not the WWE's doing just. You have to make it a testament towards Axel and also McGillicuddy's new characters. The fact that these guys have gotten these characters over, and I think we've said this time and time again. I remember when we had this whole issue with Brodus Clay. I remember me and Tony used to talk on SmackDown about, oh God, what is this gimmick? When he came in with the whole call my mama nice guy thing, and then he got it over, and then got buried. But
it takes years to figure that out, though. I mean, they perfected that gimmick over years. It's not like they just came out and he said, all right, I'm going to wear a hat and a Hawaiian shirt and grow my beard all scraggly. Like, no, it took time for him to figure that out.
And Robert De Niro, basically.
Right.
And like you just say, I'd keep Fear and Robert De Niro, but I don't know. But we'll see what the Reigns is going to be like. We're going to see what the Reigns is going to be like this week, guys. Sorry.
If you saw the first stage of Hell match at Payback last night, you can see that their roster is already overstocked with people who aren't getting matches, people who aren't even getting mid-card matches. They're just basically there as filler. And if they brought up a whole bunch more from FCW, I don't know how that would work. I mean, they would have too many people to rotate in and out, and nobody would get any time. So you got to go through the process of letting people run their course, and then when they need a vacation or they just decide to up and go to TNA or go somewhere else or just retire, then you can bring those guys up. But right now, that roster is way, way too full.
Except for the Divas.
You're right, but at the same time, they got to make some changes
for the Divas.
Roster, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the Divas in the WWE are a joke. Let's be real, guys.
All
right, thanks a lot.
Let's not even go into that can of worms.
Yeah.
Thanks, JB. Awesome talking, man. Have a good night, man.
Yeah.
All right, fellas, let's start running back down into the card. The following segment we had was the return of Christian, who came in and he had a short match where he defeated Wade Barrett, who has been on just an awful losing streak lately.
Is it a surprise to anybody? Seriously, at this point?
No.
Barrett's
not really.
Water.
Barrett's he's been on a losing streak. I don't get
how you guys could think he's a favorite for Money in the Bank. I mean, at this point,
because he's on a losing streak. That's what they do.
Exactly.
The only way Barrett would be the one not to get that sort of push. I don't think he's a favorite at all. Not after tonight or the night before.
With all these returns, it's kind of screwing that whole pooch there, but I still think he's got a chance. I mean, we've talked before about what if Cody Rhodes, but Cody Rhodes definitely has no chance anymore.
Oh, after tonight, we got to really rip into that. I think that's the next part after we talk about Christian's return, is it not? The match that Cody Rhodes is involved in. I have so much to say about that. That'll be fun to talk about.
You know what's a fun trick? If you're ever watching Wade Barrett in a match, try to see how many words you can come up to go with Barrett Barrage. Like, where does Barrett park his car? In his Barrett garage. See, it's just, and I really like Wade Barrett. I really think he's a great athlete, and he's got a great personality. But I mean, where have the British superstars gone? He's really the only one besides Regal, who we saw tonight, and Layla.
Got squashed.
Yeah,
well,
they all got squashed. Yeah. I mean, what happened to the days of the British Bulldog and God, it's frustrating because the British wrestlers used to be such a big part of the WWF and the WWE that now they're just kind of swept to the side.
The Irish took over. The Irish have reclaimed the throne. All right, guys, we're going to be bringing in another caller. We got a caller from the 845 area code, a friend of many people here, Mr. Tony Fatu. What's shaking, man?
How's it going, guys?
Everything's going absolutely tremendous, I would say. We're just finishing up talking about Christian's return and the awful booking that Wade Barrett has had lately. What's been on your mind? How'd you enjoy Raw tonight?
Well, seeing as how it's been the first time I've actually watched Raw in God knows how long, it wasn't terrible. I mean, the last time I watched Raw, it put me to sleep. So
did you catch Payback last night?
No, I didn't. But I'm sure, I heard all the updates and I heard all the...
Having not watched in a while, who stuck out on Raw tonight to you?
That's a good question.
To me, honestly, I would say, I was nice to see Christian. I'm happy that RVD is coming back.
Woo!
But, I like that Curtis Axel guy.
Yes.
I do like him. I like what they're doing with him.
Does anyone notice with the trunks that they actually look similar to his father's singlet?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they do.
The little point.
Yeah.
Nice touch. Very
and
nice.
On the back, on the back, it's a tribute to his grandfather.
Yep, that's a nice homage.
What's on the back?
Yeah.
It's like crossing, like the skull and crossbones type crossing type thing with axes, and it says Axel with the axes.
The X is really big, and then you got the AEL.
Yeah. So Tony,
anything?
Any specific thing on your mind you want to talk about? Or you just want to join us running down the card here?
Yeah, I'll join you guys. I mean, it's up to you, man. I don't want to interrupt your guys' show.
No, not at all, man. I just wanted to see if there was anything specific you had in your mind.
I'm a huge Brock Lesnar fan, though.
Oh, yeah, you are. Of course you are.
Well, let's talk about that. In the last segment, we had a relatively insignificant match going on between CM Punk and Alberto Del Rio that I think we all can pretty much agree here was tuning us all out.
Nobody cared. Nobody cared.
Del Rio started doing a walkout countout. He was attacked from behind by Dolph Ziggler. CM Punk
which was awesome.
Yes, it was. Good for Dolph. Then CM Punk celebrating in the ring, and then we heard the Brock Lesnar music cue that. Terrible.
Hasn't he had the same theme music since he debuted?
Oh yeah.
Back in 2000, I love it.
What, 1, 2?
You know what though? That's the mark of a good theme when you never have to change it.
Oh yeah.
Exactly. I think it's a great theme song.
Dun 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 dun.
Because from what I heard tonight,
that one guy in the crowd
one of my friends, he said that Wade Barrett changed his theme again. I don't know if that's true or not.
I think
yeah,
this
they did.
that
They
he has
changed
right
it
now
and
is better
that
than the
whole
last one.
God Save the Queen thing, and it's got a lot of his. It's kind of a techno remix of Barrett's voice, including like bow.
Yeah, I actually kind of like it.
Bow.
Yeah. I think it's one of the better themes he's had.
I think it's the best theme that he's had, actually.
Yeah.
I like his whole Titantron where they kind of like took off the God Save the Queen album cover.
Yeah, and then it like fades in and out how the music is going.
Yeah,
perfect.
So they have some of that promo that him bare knuckle fighting, that they showed when he was coming back. In the Titantron.
I believe they do. Yes.
All right.
But returning back to Brock Lesnar here, it looks like we're going to be getting a future Brock Lesnar versus CM Punk match. One thing we're not completely clear of is, it seems like this might be kind of soon. We're having this show up the night right after Payback. Does that mean we're going to be seeing this go down at Money in the Bank? Is this something that they're going to try to extend all the way to SummerSlam? If perhaps we can see it at Money in the Bank, if it's going to be a best of 3 series, what do you guys think is going to happen with this?
If I knew any better, it would seem right now what's going to happen is Punk is going to fight Curtis Axel at Money in the Bank, and then he's going to fight Lesnar at SummerSlam.
Yeah, I could see them he'll want to fight Lesnar in Philadelphia. Heyman
It's going to be more Punk versus Heyman.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
kind of like kicking to the curb.
That was the first thing I thought when Brock Lesnar came out. I thought, this is Heyman's revenge because CM Punk doesn't need Heyman anymore, and Heyman needs clients. He needs clients. That's what they've been stressing in the show now.
And if you notice, the reason I say that's my prediction is because if Paul Heyman didn't have anything to do with it, don't you think he would have came running out and begging Lesnar not to get in the ring with Punk? He didn't even come out. So.
Yeah, but he did that before with Brock Lesnar when Brock Lesnar was about to kick the shit out of somebody and fake beg and.
Yeah.
So yeah, your point is.
Be like
No, go ahead.
Oh, it's going to be pretty interesting. Like I said, I haven't watched Raw in a while. I will say that that kind of piqued my interest was when Lesnar tossed him like a sack of potatoes.
Now, early predictions, who would win this? Because, I mean, CM Punk,
let's
he's
talk
the rising
about the
star.
physical matchup.
He's the rising star who is absolutely going to need this.
Yeah.
But at the same time, can Brock Lesnar lose another match? Like, he's lost almost every match he's been in since he's come back.
Well, I mean, he did win the cage match against Triple H.
Yes, he did.
He did win his last match. I mean, listen, the bottom line is here, you got to look at it this way. Punk is the guy for the future of the company. Lesnar is just a part-timer. You know what I'm saying? So it's really just to help Punk.
Is Punk the future anymore, though? I mean, Punk is the present and the fading present at that.
You're right, but if I had to put my money on anybody, it would definitely be Daniel Bryan, because that guy, from what I've seen, he knocks it out of the park now. So, I don't know.
Great performance from him. I look at the Brock CM Punk matchup a lot like the Brock versus The Rock, because there's no way they match up physically. So it'll be interesting to see how Punk handles Brock Lesnar just through his quickness, and he's a lot smarter than Lesnar. I think he's got a lot. Well, I don't know. Their ring smarts are probably about equal because Brock Lesnar has the NCAA background. But that whole physical matchup just kind of makes me think about all these different possibilities that could happen. And it's a very interesting matchup, and I want to see what they do with it.
I would think this would have to be some type of no DQ match where they would be allowed to introduce weapons and all that. That's the style that match would have to go.
That's how it always is with Lesnar. It's always a fight.
That's the only way Punk can. Yeah, that's the only way Punk can take advantage. He's not going to take advantage with his strength.
No, the idea of Punk trying to put an anaconda vice on Brock Lesnar is laughable to me.
You know what?
He'd lift him on his shoulders from the anaconda vice and give him an F5.
I would love to see
definitely going to be a draw because nobody's ever seen it before. Punk's talking and selling the match, and Lesnar sells it because he's winner, basically. Punk's going to do the hyping and the talking. Lesnar's just going to be his beast self that shows up for a few TV tapings to build up to. It's where they place it. Now, I know they did this with Cena and Lesnar at Extreme Rules when they could have used that at clearly a bigger pay-per-view, though Triple H, I guess, wanted the SummerSlam spot. Now that it's open, do they really book it as fast as Money in the Bank like they did with Cena and Lesnar last year, or do they actually wait the full 2 months to do it at SummerSlam? I think they wait the full 2 months because that's the bigger show. It sells to the big SummerSlam spectacle. It's one of the big money matches they have right now, and I think it should be saved.
And more importantly, Money in the Bank does not need it.
No, they don't, because they have a two-ladder match. Yeah, that's it.
It's going to have whatever they do with the World Heavyweight title. I'm sure it's going to involve Del Rio and Ziggler. Always have the excitement of a potential cash-in on the show. I know it probably won't happen again. It did happen in the first pay-per-view. But Money in the Bank sells itself. It doesn't need a big match like this. SummerSlam needs something big. I mean, it's supposed to be the second biggest pay-per-view, like behind WrestleMania. This is the type of match you book for that sort of show.
I'm pretty sure Big Show's going to return at Money in the Bank. He's been gone for a while.
He was a part of the ever so prestigious Payback panel.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Post-show.
Hilarious.
Post-show. That's right. I forgot about that.
And he had the Shaq beard going.
And he was trying to be Mr. Knowledgeable, which helped.
He stole the show. I mean,
he did.
Josh Matthews, I think, was supposed to be the lead guy. Like Big Show just took the lead, and he was like taking the conversation.
And then there's take your eye off a championship, you end up losing your title match. That's what happens.
And then there's R-Truth babbling about whatever he's doing.
R-Truth is just sitting there going, remember when I was relevant?
Yeah, dog. What's up?
It's like I'm going to be losing to Sheamus. I'm going to be teaming up with Sandow against Sheamus, taking a bro kick after the match tomorrow. So I'm going to pretend to be invested in this pay-per-view, even though I'm not on the card. I was the pre-show of Extreme Rules.
All right, so let's move into another segment that happened tonight on Raw. That was they had much hype coming up about Mark Henry possibly coming out and announcing his retirement. We saw a couple backstage segments of Mark Henry in his glorious salmon blazer that he was wearing.
That only Vince has rocked before, by the way.
If you don't remember me, you'll remember this coat.
Although I believe Vince also rocked a similar jacket
he
before
did.
Mark Henry.
Also on a night that was supposed to be his retirement, the infamous "I'm sorry, Pop" speech from Triple H to him.
No, it was "I'm sorry, Pop."
Pop, was it Pop?
Pop, really?
Yeah.
What is he, Magnitude from Community?
I'm sorry, Pop.
I think
he said "I'm sorry, Pop," sympathy Pop for "I'm sorry, Pop."
Pop.
Oh man,
wasn't that the day where John Cena got in the ring and he told John Cena it was better than that orange crap that he wore?
So Mark Henry eventually does come out towards the stage. He has boots in hand, and he drops them onto the top of the ramp on his way down. I believe John Cena was already into the ring.
Yep.
Mark Henry says, "John, no, you stay. I got some things I want you to hear." Mark Henry cuts a very wonderful, heartfelt speech thanking the fans.
And I doubt anyone in this chat room to think that he wasn't as serious as he was, because he fooled the shit out of me.
I believe
the
it 100%.
thing that got me going. I sort of was hooked on it, but then as soon as he said John, not as many as John, and started referring to Cena's championship reign.
Yeah, but I could expect them to be like, well, put John over on your way out. Maybe that'll give him some more sympathy, like be a star or
right.
the Make-A-Wish Foundation or whatever the fuck he's doing for charity.
What they've done 1,000 times
Cena
before.
some charity from your sympathy of retiring, and maybe somebody will cheer him because you're endorsing him on your way out. That didn't.
There was that when I read on WWE.com about the tweets about Mark Henry's retiring, I was like, in the back of my head, this has got to be some kind of long con, because Mark Henry has not been that nice in the past couple of months, years, but he came out and he sold it. He just absolutely fooled everyone, and then he picks up John Cena, slams him down, and I'm laughing my ass off because that was the greatest con in the history of WWE to me.
Well, it was no higher power, but it was good.
Right.
It was me, Caitlin. It was me all along.
I'm not gonna lie. All the way up until Mark Henry came out, I was doubting it. But as soon as he got in there and he was like doing the thing where he was like shaking his fist in the air and he was saying all of his thank yous to the fans, he convinced me. Yeah, I legitimately thought that he was leaving.
I remember those looked like actual real tears from Mr. No Days Off in a segment just a few moments before Henry came out.
Yeah, maybe he should give lessons to Caitlin.
Fired.
He cries better than Caitlin cries.
And he was only supposed to cry fakely for like 2 seconds on screen. Damn.
Oh, he started real crying. I saw that. He started getting upset that he was getting upset.
Henry actually made the people in the back believe he was retiring too, so nobody knew until he slammed Cena.
It was the greatest. And then you can see, like right as he slammed Cena, you can see the Mark Henry fan in the corner just jumping up and down. Yeah, Mark Henry fan.
The only thing that's disappointing about this is I really bought into all the Bryan Cena hype for Money in the Bank that was coming up, and now it's not that title match. So
I'm so glad that it's not, though, because he would have just been fed to John Cena, and that's the last thing that he needs.
Yeah, but the thing is, John Cena can't compete with him. He doesn't have the athletic ability. Daniel Bryan should win that matchup every single time. Every time. But they feed him the championship.
Daniel Bryan, I'm going to call it right now. Daniel Bryan is winning Money in the Bank.
Yeah. Well, I think he's going to be involved in at least if there's a match. I don't know if they're going to have two.
Daniel Bryan will win the Raw Money in the Bank.
I'm putting you down for that.
If there is two, there's always a babyface who wins, and there's always a heel who wins.
I have always, how many times have you seen this weak link angle, and then he keeps losing or whatever the case may be, and then he wins the big one. You watch, he's going to win the Money in the Bank.
And he hasn't been booked as terribly as he usually is. I mean, even though he's losing, he's kind of losing in style. Like, he's not just full on just getting pinned. Circumstances keep happening, and he keeps getting frustrated in that. And even though he's being perceived as the weak link, everybody knows it's not his fault for why he's losing. It's all these ridiculous circumstances that are happening.
I really don't like how focused.
It's not like Wade Barrett losing, that's for sure.
I really don't like how focused he is on that whole weak link thing. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. Because right now, it's already stale. Because we all know he's not weak. We all know he can compete. He's a U.S. champ. He's a tag champion.
But he has an inferiority complex.
Of himself.
Yeah, he has an inferiority complex. He's mentally unstable. He needs help.
But that can only go for so long. That can only go for so long before you're just tired of it.
This is the same angle they used. They used the same angle in 2004 with Chris Benoit, where he couldn't win the big one. He can't win the big one. He's not good enough. He's not good enough to win the big one.
We all know what happened to Benoit.
Who?
So we all know what happened to Benoit.
He became Dr. Stevie Richards?
Yes.
I don't know who we're talking about.
No, if you read WWE.com, it was Triple H lost the title at WrestleMania 20 in a match involving Shawn Michaels.
It was vacant until SummerSlam, where Randy Orton won a match to rechristen the title after it was inactive for half a year. Yes.
All right, guys, another match we had tonight. We saw Antonio Cesaro finally being revealed as being aligned with Zeb Coulter. He came out and had a very quick match with William Regal, who didn't even get an entrance, which I was sad about, but didn't really matter. The match was maybe a minute and a half long. Antonio Cesaro got a quick pin.
Does anybody think this is horrible, like use of Zeb Coulter's character? Like,
no.
Like the biggest continuity bullshit.
No. See, Americans that are racist are usually okay with like Europeaners because they still kind of look like us. So really, it fits perfect.
Yeah. But at the same time, if you remember when he first got on the scene, he was still dissing people like Barrett and Cesaro because they weren't originally from America. It didn't matter that it was just because Del Rio was Mexican. He didn't care about foreigners at all.
Listen, desperate times call for desperate measures, man.
Yeah,
we fought England in the Revolutionary War, but then we fought alongside them in World War II.
Just be thankful that there are no German wrestlers on the roster, because I'm pretty sure they would put Zeb Coulter with a German wrestler and just push the whole master race thing.
There is a German wrestler. That's Antonio Cesaro. He's a German wrestler apparently now.
He's Swiss. Isn't he Swiss?
No, but apparently he's from Germany now. They changed his title.
He is? Okay, all right.
And on top of that, he's got poop pants now.
If the alternative is for him walking around like he shit up himself, then I'm fine with any other.
I love Zeb Coulter wearing the nice shirt and the tie, and then the fatigue vest.
Yeah.
What kind of fashion sense is that?
Did anyone find it ridiculous of Cesaro holding up the "Don't Tread on Me" flag at the end? I don't know. This whole thing is just fucking weird.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it's just,
well, I will say this: Jack Swagger is a bum. He was never that good. I saw this coming a mile away. And honestly, I'm not trying to be one of those guys, but I told a lot of my buddies that this guy is a one-trick pony, and he wasn't gonna last very long.
He has no tricks. Swagger's decent in the ring. He can't talk for shit. He blew every push he could have possibly been given.
He's married.
They tried to make him the modern Kurt Angle, is what they did.
He's a goofy, weird-haired motherfucker who uses an ankle lock and
the problem is, like you said, they tried to make him a modern-day Kurt Angle, but the problem is there was only one Kurt Angle.
Exactly. And on top of that,
not even that one Kurt Angle knows who Kurt Angle is.
He's a goofball who chokes on his own tongue.
And he's got a lisp.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He's a goofball who chokes on his own tongue. I can't take him seriously. He doesn't look threatening. He looks ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly.
If he doesn't talk, he kind of looks threatening.
Not
he looks
really.
threatening because he looks kind of like Gary Busey, and Gary Busey is one of the loosest cannons of all time.
With the big old teeth in front and everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Gary Busey scares the shit out of me. I don't know about you guys.
He scares me like nothing's business.
I'll tell you this: it may not make sense to put him with Cesaro, but Cesaro is a workhorse. That guy is going to be the future.
Maybe Cesaro put Coulter to better use than Swagger ever could. So that's one thing.
Exactly.
He's so strong, just physically strong. It's a good fit with him and Zeb Coulter. Yeah, it doesn't make sense right now, but if you give him a little bit of time,
let it develop. It's splitting hairs if you don't let it develop. So I want to talk about a wonderful handicap match that actually happened right before this match, or a little bit before it.
Sure, go ahead.
So Sheamus takes on Team Rhodes Scholars in a wondrous handicap match that pitted Damian Sandow and Cody Rhodes against Sheamus 2-on-1. There were no tags involved.
I wish that match had gone longer, because that was actually a good match.
There was no tags involved. However, Sheamus took the fucking fight to both of them, threw them around, and it took a fluke roll-up on the part of Sandow to get a win over Sheamus. They couldn't even have two people double-team him, pin him over that. It took a roll-up. That's the most protected victory I've ever seen in a handicap match ever. They couldn't, he couldn't take, the disaster kick and then take a terminus and stay down for a 3. He had to take a quick sneak roll-up and then get his point across by bro-kicking Cody Rhodes at the end. And then bro-kicking that poor choking victim in the commercial that played at the end of the show. What an asshole.
That was awful.
I liked it. I laughed at it.
I was surprised they didn't let Sandow get in the Kobito Aki yet. I like that move.
He did.
What I love about this,
I can't believe you even pronounced that correctly.
What I love about WWE and Sheamus is they always promote this anti-bullying thing, and Sheamus' gimmick is pretty much a bully.
And then he comes out and kicks everybody's ass.
She's just like, hey, fella, I'm gonna make fun of you for half an hour now and talk about 30 seconds, and I'm gonna bully everybody in this room here tonight.
That was an awesome Irish accent, by the way.
It's funny because Sandow will make him look like a Neanderthal, and his response to it is he just kicks you in the face. Is that not a bully or what?
You have to say "earth" 1,000 times a promo and bro kick a computer. Send a message, fella.
Yeah.
Children, be a star and kick people in the arse.
Bro.
Too many limes.
Zack Ryder. He's the reverse Zack Ryder. I can let you figure out what that means, right here, right now. That's exactly what he is.
It's
funny
because it's okay that he's a bully.
And then you're like, oh fuck, he's gonna win.
Yep.
And he does.
It's okay that he's a bully because he's a babyface. It's just like Hulk Hogan. It used to drive me crazy. Hulk Hogan could rake people's eyes, and he would never get yelled at by the ref because he was a babyface.
Thank you.
When Ted DiBiase would rake the eyes, that's it. He was almost getting disqualified.
What else has he done? Oh, how was Mark Henry the heel in their feud? Sheamus is a poor sport for losing tug of war, so he bro kicks him in the side of the head, loses arm wrestle, gets mad about it, bro kicks him in the side of the head, and Henry's the heel? Fuck off.
You know what? I'll give you a simple explanation. People love to hate black people.
That's
I went there.
Tony brought this up before Extreme Rules. The lasting image of that match is a pale-ass white person whipping a black man with a strap. What more needs to be said about that? When we
just have the white supremacists sitting there going, yeah, that's how we did it in old time.
Zeb Coulter liked it.
I don't hate James.
People don't like
you talk about Sheamus' character being an awful face. I would argue that Sheamus' character...
Didn't he steal Alberto Del Rio's car, too?
Yeah, Alberto Del Rio. I brought that up. He stole it, trashed it. That's a fucking felony. And they're like, really got back at him.
He's just a hooligan. He's just a hooligan. It says it on his shirt. It's okay.
Yep. But he stole a person's car because he got an armbar locked on him. Have you ever stolen somebody's car because they attacked you with an armbar before? Or
someone ever
got better of you with a wrestling maneuver?
I'll make a point that I will steal that person's car.
Yeah, okay, the next time somebody locks you in an armbar, steal their car and say, well, Sheamus did it and I trashed it and he didn't get away with anything.
I followed the wrestler.
I don't generally have problems of people randomly attacking me with arm bars when I'm walking around.
I'd like to see that explanation to the police. Be like, why did you steal this car? Oh, he put me in an arm bar. What's an arm bar? Fuck off.
I'll show you.
But you get what I mean. When you all say that Sheamus' face character is not really that much of a face, and if not one of the most annoying face characters on the roster.
Oh, absolutely. I think he's more annoying than John Cena at this point.
Yeah, he is more annoying than John Cena, 100%.
I wouldn't say more annoying. I would say just a shy underneath.
No,
me and Tony really hate John Cena. So
okay, Paden,
I get that.
Like me. May you explain your reasons why? I mean, I've clearly stated my own. I would love to hear your opinions on this.
No, I mean, I'm of the exact belief you are. I mean, the Mark Henry example is what especially sticks out to me. I remember that tug of war where Sheamus is like, there's no way I'm going to win this, so you know what? I'm just going to let go and let Mark Henry fall on his ass.
and then followed up with a bro kick.
And like, same thing with Damien Sandow now. Like, he can't figure out Damien Sandow's puzzles. Bro kick him in the head.
Or break his, $1 million computer, a supercomputer. Although Sheamus got his ass beat for doing that, so.
And I almost feel like Sheamus is even more protected than John Cena at this point. I mean, John Cena will still at least be made to look weak sometimes, and he'll always triumph in the end. But I never see anybody even get anything. Never get the one over on Sheamus.
Ryback put Cena through tables. He beat the shit out of him a few times. Mark Henry took him out with a World's Strongest Slam. When did Mark Henry take out Sheamus with a World's Strongest Slam? Never.
Braeden has a really good point about last night. I have never seen John Cena get the shit kicked out of him as bad as he did last night. That was a thorough ass kicking. Even though he lost, even though Ryback lost. That was
looked like a boss. He got the pin. I was not expecting that. I was not expecting Ryback to win the Ryback match at all.
No, I thought Ryback was totally going to win that match the way it was going the entire night. I mean, he put him through the announce table. He was swinging him around. He was manhandling John Cena.
Cena got his ass whooped and got lucky because he was able to get him through a table and a faux ambulance lid. So. But he never pinned him. To this day, John Cena still never pinned Ryback.
Nope.
So he's made to, even though people say he is Super Cena, he does at least, he does get his ass whooped and he does come back from it. But Sheamus never loses. That's my main issue with him. I don't hate him entirely. I hate his character and I hate how he's booked.
He's a good athlete. He's a very good athlete.
I like him in the ring. I think he's one of the better workers that they have, especially for big man workers. He definitely sets the limit.
You can put him up. You can put him up against Big Show, Kane, Mark Henry. He works great against those guys. Where some people, some of the bigger cards,
like between those two was amazing in the fall.
I was big on the Sheamus train when he first came around, so much to the point where I actually trimmed my beard to match Sheamus's beard when he first came in, which was cooler when he first came in.
But
he's kind of
he won the King of the Ring, and then he won the WWE Championship.
He won the WWE title first, like in his first 3 months.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, from John Cena of all people.
Right. That was a tables match too.
Twice. He beat him twice for the title, if you remember correctly.
And then he just fucking kicks Daniel Bryan in the face one time, world champion.
And that's where the whole downfall of his character began. He became just this lame joke-throwing jockey douchebag of a prick who just goes around bro-kicking people and laughing at them and calling them arses and stuff.
Whoever is writing his jokes
stop bro-kicking everybody and calling them arse.
All right, guys, let's move on. One other segment we saw tonight. Divas champion, new Divas champion, actually, AJ Lee came out and started cutting a promo. Stephanie McMahon interrupted her after AJ said that there's no woman around here that could be as powerful as she is.
That was kind of a surprise.
It was a surprise. I had no idea where they were going. I thought they were just going to have Caitlyn come out, which she did anyway. Yeah. But that little exchange between AJ and Stephanie, I wouldn't have been able to predict that. That was a total surprise to me.
That was a very nice.
Can I just say what my favorite part of that whole thing was?
What's that?
Can I just say what my favorite part of that whole thing was when it ended?
Hey, go ahead.
The women wrestling sucks.
But they weren't wrestling.
Let's listen. It is a pile of shit. The best part of that was when Caitlyn's kid popped out. That was the best part of it. When we all saw nipple.
Yeah, she was able to
because the women
have
AJ
chemistry with Caitlyn last night and had the best Divas match on pay-per-view I can remember in a long, long time.
No, the knockouts are so much better. The knockouts are so much better.
What are knockouts? What's TNA? I don't know what that is.
You have Tara, you have Gail Kim, you have Mickie James. These are very good women's athletes, and then you have AJ and Caitlyn and the Funkadactyls and people who haven't wrestled in forever.
I'll tell you something.
I hate to be one of those sexist.
She is
sexist guys. Women don't belong in the wrestling ring. They just don't. I'm sorry. I mean,
I agree with you. I agree with you to a point. But they need to be in there just to have the demographic.
You know what? No, you bring them in. You bring them in like Miss Elizabeth, Sensational Sherry. Let them be valets, man. They don't need to be in the ring.
All right. That's a good point.
That's why I brought you on this show. I know you want to say your piece.
That is one thing no one will ever make me budge on. Women wrestling, it sucks. No matter where you watch it.
I totally agree with you. The age of Miss Liz and Sunny and Stacy.
Yes.
Good age.
That is the era that needs to come back. Ballets.
Yep.
All right, guys. I mean, we pretty much have run down everything. Is there anything else on your mind?
There's a good article on WWE.com, 9 reasons what RVD's return means to WWE. I think it's a good read. Interesting.
We didn't talk about Van Dam.
Yeah, what is his role going to be at the pay-per-view? Is he going to be one of the participants in the ladder matches?
He's got to be. Is that
what he's going to be doing?
How long is he going to be there for? Is he going to be there? Is he coming just for this pay-per-view, or is he going to be in the WWE indefinitely now?
Well, I mean, they just kind of put him in the corner as the X Division champion in TNA, and then they took the title away from him, and I mean, he basically had nothing to do.
Well, by the way, I firmly believe he's never been an X Division champion. That's first and foremost.
Firmly believe
it was a joke.
It
was a joke championship. It wasn't a real championship.
Yeah. That's his fault.
I firmly believe
that is his
the reason
fault.
he went back to the WWE was because the match he had with Zema Ion, I think it was, and Kenny King was so bad he probably went backstage and said, "You know what? I think I'm going back to the WWE because this place sucks." I don't know if you guys watched that match on Impact, but that was a pile of shit. That was the last Impact I've ever watched.
Match.
And I just happened,
that was
I
one
happened
where
to see
Kenny King
the
stole the title from him, wasn't it?
It might have been, but when I watched that, I was like, "What the fuck is happening?" Like, was it just one complete botch after another? And if you look at it, you would look like Van Dam looked like he wanted to rip his hair out.
Now, is Rob Van Dam going to have that TNA stink on him, and he's going to have that problem when he comes in?
You know, I also think
that hardcore Philly audience is not going to give two shits. They're just glad he's back in front of them.
Another reason why they're waiting for Money in the Bank is to let him get into shape. Is to let him clear his head and give him like a month.
He's still got a lot of people that he knows in the WWE and that he can spar with in his off time, that they can get him out of his ring rust. I think his return's going to be pretty good. I don't know if it's going to be great, but I think it's going to be pretty good.
The matches that he can have in WWE will far exceed. You got people won't even remember him in TNA because the guys that he can wrestle now in WWE, like Antonio Cesaro, Daniel Bryan, Curtis Axel, Wade Barrett, all these young talent guys that he can wrestle now,
he could wrestle.
You're not even going to remember.
I would like to see RVD versus Wade Barrett. I think that would be a good match.
Just the amount of talent that he can wrestle now is kind of like the amount of talent he was able to wrestle in the mid-card back when he was in his prime over a decade ago.
Yeah.
When him and Kane had the tag team championship, he stole the IC championship, he stole the WWE championship at One Night Stand. Those were great matches.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I don't think I'm going to have any problem not remembering RVD in TNA, because I couldn't tell you one memorable RVD match in TNA.
I'll tell you what, if it's one thing TNA can do to a wrestler, it is make you completely insignificant. Like when you go there, you completely forget that person exists. I mean, there was a time where I thought Kurt Angle died.
Brother.
I will only remember one match RVD had in TNA, and that's when he won the TNA World Heavyweight Championship, and they had the red and yellow confetti, and everybody came out and was like, "Oh, this is the new face of TNA," and then he just flopped.
I remember
him beating
good match Squash and squashing him after the squash.
So go ahead,
I think the only match I've ever seen from TNA where I was like, "Oh, this isn't too bad," was Jeff Hardy versus Bully Ray.
Oh, yeah.
The rest one-on-one. And I was like, "Oh, this isn't so bad. This is actually pretty good." And it's just ironic how they're both WWE guys.
That's a shame that Hardy and the Dudley Boys won't go back to WWE, because they could be
like I said,
else.
You literally go there and you become insignificant. Like nobody ever like people forget like you exist.
Yep, exactly.
Like when it can make Hulk Hogan insignificant. When you can make Hulk Hogan insignificant.
Well, wait a minute, he's never insignificant, brother. He's the focal point. Getting back in shape for another run, brother.
Like when you can take Hulk Hogan, who was like, obviously, if he came let's be honest here, if he went back to WWE tomorrow, everybody would tune in just to see why is Hogan back.
Sting and Kurt Angle.
Yeah, but now they're on TNA. Do you even care?
No.
Does anybody on this phone even care?
I didn't care about Hogan when he came back to WWE either. He's past it. He should be done with wrestling entirely at this point. But he's not.
Listen, I don't think he should wrestle either, but Hulk Hogan till this day is still the grandfather of professional wrestling. The guy, he's the reason why
he caused the wrestling boom. It's the reason the business is as big as it is. I'm not sure crediting him for anything.
There's no two ways about it. But at the same time, you go to TNA, I mean, everybody who went there, Christian, Mick Foley, all these guys who went there, then they wind up coming back because they get there and they're like, this this is like you're just ruining your wrestling career.
Why is Kurt Angle still there?
Tarnishing your legacy.
For God's sake.
Because he's Kurt Angle.
He makes great money. He makes great money. He wrestles every 2 weeks. They run shows.
Dixie Carter pays him a lot.
They do an Impact taping now. They do Impact tapings every I believe it's like every 3 weeks now. So they tape like 3 episodes of Impact every 3 weeks, which for someone who's trying to earn money in regards to the industry, it's kind of a douchey move. But for someone like Angle, because he's on so much, it's great. You only have to wrestle a certain amount and get his guaranteed pay.
It is guaranteed pay, but it's kind of a slap in the face because he's a U.S. champ, he's a tag team champ, he's a WWE champ. I mean, he has got a lot more credit than people give him for. Like, now that he's in TNA. A lot of people have forgotten his past with the WWF and the WWE. But, I mean, everybody remembers the milk truck. Everybody remembers You Suck. I mean, he's a staple.
You also got to remember that his personal
giving them free promotion. Let's not talk about Impact in the middle of a Raw review. That seems kind of odd. We're giving them free endorsement, free publication. That's the last thing any of us need to do.
I'm sure free endorsement is good.
What's going to happen with Rob Van Dam, if he's going to stay with the company after Money in the Bank, or if he's just going to go.
Or you think it could be a one-off pay-per-view appearance?
It could be, yeah.
Well,
because why they waiting so long?
If
I
he
think
doesn't
he signed
win the Money in the Bank, he might be able to team back up with Kane. They were a pretty good tag team.
Tony, what were you going to say?
I think he signed one of those like Legends deals, like Brock did, where you'll see him every now and again, but he won't be like a full-time guy.
Maybe I can't see them having like a Lesnar, Rock, or Triple H sort of deal. I could see him maybe pulling up like the whole Jericho thing, except he doesn't have like a Rock band
more like that. He won't be around a lot, but he'll be a significant amount. Like you'll see him like for a while, and then he'll take a couple months off, and then he'll come back, wrestle for a few months. It'll probably be like that.
Yeah, I assume he's going to have something like a Jericho role.
There's still lots of money that can be made with Rob Van Dam.
Yeah, where he's around part-time, but he's not.
He'll be on one show. He won't be on both.
All right, I got to go negative with this for a second. Rob Van Dam has been playing the same stupid character for over 15 years now. Jean-Claude Van Damme stopped being relevant and cool. I can't even remember how long ago. All right, even Chris Jericho has cut his hair by now. Rob Van Dam, if he's going to make a serious run right now, he needs to do something to switch it up.
He's not going to do anything.
Well, I mean, listen,
sometimes that's why.
Not anything.
No, he's not going to do anything. He's not going to do anything to change his appearance, because that's what. I mean, you heard that Chicago crowd last night at Payback during some of the big matches. They were still like RVD. They don't want that.
And they're doing it smart. They're bringing him back in Philly.
Has ever been questioned though.
But to that point, people would chant Y2J just the same, and then Jericho did a big switch up.
Yeah, he did do a big switch up, but he's so like he can go heel and face. RVD is strictly a face, unless you go back to the ECW era. In the WWE, RVD, when he came in 2001, he was a face.
Yeah, they tried using him as a heel in the Alliance, though.
Yeah, he was kind of like the face of the Alliance.
Yeah. The only baby face of the Alliance.
Rob Van Dam is kind of like Jeff Hardy. They don't, their characters aren't what pushes them. It's their ability in the ring.
Yeah, Jeff Hardy turned heel in TNA, and they still loved him.
Yeah, it's just what they give you in the ring.
Turn. That'd be like turning Rey Mysterio heel. Like, what's the point?
When Jeff Hardy turned heel, he didn't really change anything about him. Like, he started wrestling baby faces rather than wrestling heels. When Chris Jericho turned heel, he completely revolutionized his character. If Rob Van Dam came in, he cut his hair, he changed, going to just wearing trunks maybe, he could really change his whole persona.
I don't think he's going to do that.
The thing with RVD is he doesn't have the charisma like Jericho.
No, he's not. He's not so good on the mic, but he's very good in the ring. He's so good in the ring that he doesn't have to be good on the mic.
Van Dam's the selling point for Rob Van Dam is what he gives you in the ring.
Don't forget, he doesn't need to be good on the mic because he is a Paul Heyman guy.
That's exactly right.
I just want to see Rob Van Dam
jump from one turnbuckle to another, and kick a chair in somebody's face. That's really all I want to see. That's all I want to see.
It's going to be hard to jump from one turnbuckle to the other and kick a chair into someone's back.
Right.
And that's another thing as well. He won't be able to do the style that he's used to. You know, the weapons and the steel chairs and stuff like that. He'll have to look at wrestling a different kind of style. And the problem before, the reason why he left previously was because he got penalized for, you know, his marijuana use and stuff. Yep. Yeah. So that's the biggest thing here. We've got to look at exactly how he's going to be utilized, how long is he going to be there for, and, you know, when this is going to happen. If it's short term, long term, even if Heyman's going to be involved, we just got to look at this. Hopefully, we're going to see a more mature RVD. A guy.
I think that would be cool to see Heyman get involved with RVD once he comes back. I think that would be cool.
I mean, aside from the alliance, I don't think they were ever officially side by side in WWE.
No,
but I mean, he started in ECW and he was a very good friend of Paul.
So Heyman counted the 3 count for his WWE title victory. He did do that.
Yeah, and he also counted the 3 count for his WWE title loss. No, for his ECW title loss.
True.
So, you know, in the end, we've got to see how this is going to work out.
Yeah, and this all spawned the question of what is he going to be doing at the pay-per-view. As I said, everybody's pretty much on par that he's going to be competing in the 1 or 2 Money in the Banks, whichever they end up doing, whether they have 1 or 2.
Maybe in both.
I think he'll be in the Raw.
That would be cool if he was in both. I think that would be cool.
If they don't put him in a Money in the Bank match, he'll probably come out, cut a promo, and set up for a match for SummerSlam.
Okay, so they haven't really had a Raw and SmackDown roster. A lot of superstars have been doing both shows. Who do you think is going to be in the Raw Money in the Bank, and who do you think is going to be in the SmackDown Money?
I'm still not even entirely sold on them doing 2.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be doing 2 this year.
They have to do 2.
I am not sold on them doing 2.
Title. That's been their whole thing.
No, it was originally just 1, and it counted for both.
Well, yes, it was originally just 1, but they expanded it to both. And, I mean, you had Alberto Del Rio winning the title that one night, and then Kane winning the World Heavyweight title.
But it's gotten oversaturated. It's gotten oversaturated since then. You know, we've had too many Money in the Bank winners, and when you have all these people getting these cheap title wins, it lessens Money in the Bank, and it lessens the title itself as well.
But still, even last Money in the Bank, we had Cena winning the Raw briefcase and Ziggler winning the SmackDown briefcase. I don't think they're going to change that.
Yeah, we saw how well that worked for both of them.
Well,
it worked well for one.
We got to see how this all goes and where this is going to end up, because in the end, it's dependent on what the WWE thinks. If they think that both would count for each individual title, or if it's just going to work where the Money in the Bank is going to count for both titles. But yeah,
well, they already previewed it tonight. They already previewed it tonight on Raw with Cena saying whoever wins the Raw Money in the Bank briefcase.
Well, no, he said whoever wins that briefcase, and he only alluded to 1.
Yeah.
So
they also
I don't know. I'm not sold on
them
having 2 matches this year. I was surprised they
also
did it last
set it up
year.
with Bryan, with Daniel Bryan and Kane in that promo where Bryan turned around and Kane said, "I have to win the WWE title," and Kane said, "I want to win the WWE title." So you both know that they're both going to be in the Money in the Bank match.
Yeah, and as I said, I know obviously there's going to be 1. I'm not sold on there being 2.
We'll see.
Yeah, because honestly, I don't even think they have enough viable mid-card people to even do 2.
Oh, they have enough viable mid-carders.
Yes,
who would win? And if you do 2, you have to have a face win one of them and a heel win the other.
And you're forgetting Kofi Kingston is out right now. He will come back.
If he can be back in time. I mean, that's like the bare minimum.
I wouldn't be shocked if we did do 2.
Christian and Van Damme
Daniel Bryan won.
Yeah, Christian has been in Money in the Bank.
The
Cody
only way
Rhodes,
that they're doing
put Damian Sandow, Wade Barrett, Curtis Axel. You got a whole bunch of mid-card people.
Plenty of
prime-time
players. Go for the world. Put the bigger people in the WWE title one. Like those are like the Bryans and Kanes and let's say Orton.
Randy Orton. Randy Orton can get it.
And the people under them could go for the World Heavyweight Championship briefcase. That's basically the only way they'd be able to do it.
And they can do it.
The way that they booked this Raw looks like they're only going to have 1, because the way that they had all their plans foreshadowing right now. If you look, they had Curtis Axel and The Miz. That's an Intercontinental title match. That's not a Money in the Bank. 2 Money in the Bank participants.
Yep.
You have the Shield all sticking together. They're not going to be fighting each other in Money in the Bank. So that's a U.S. title match, and that's a tag team title match. Those are 3 matches right there that knock out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people. And then you have WWE title match, World Heavyweight title match. So there goes probably Ziggler, Del Rio, Mark Henry, John Cena, CM Punk. What's the likelihood that he's just going to be in the Money in the Bank? Especially with this Brock Lesnar.
He's just going to be in a regular match.
Yeah, and
I'm telling you, he's going to wind up fighting Curtis Axel.
Ooh.
And where's Miz coming in? Just kind of Money in the Bank?
Miz could do it.
Yeah.
Miz could do it, but you have a whole bunch of people. You still got 3MB you're talking about. Yeah, I know they don't mean anything, but you can put them in matches. They're fillers. And where the Wyatt
I don't think they'll have anything to do with
it. Comebacks
for Money in the Bank. You can put them in some Money in the Bank matches.
Yeah,
I think if you have 2 Money in the Bank matches, all we're getting is maybe 4 people in each match. That's maximum.
You don't think they push it to 6 for each?
I don't think they have 6.
They have more people. They can push it to 6.
I don't think that they could.
Push it to 6.
I think it has to be at least 6.
And I mean, you got tons of
I don't want another 4 or 5 man one that fucking happened last year. It was better than I expected it to be, but really, all former champions, I did not like that idea. Don't do any stupid gimmick like that. If you're gonna have 2, just do it the way that the 2010 and 2011 events ran. Or if you're not going to do it that way, fuck it and just do one that's a briefcase for both of them, and then you could have the champion or the winner challenge for whatever the fuck world title they want to do.
That's what I think.
Simple as.
I didn't think that was a horrible idea, but it wasn't the best idea.
All right, guys. On that note, I'm going to start taking us out here. Continue to following both Keeping Kayfabe and Smark Out Moment on our development as we're getting towards Money in the Bank. I'm going to pass it around to you guys. We're going to do some quick plugs. So let's start off with Braeden. What do you got to plug?
I just have my YouTube channel. It's www.youtube.com/SpoonBeast for everything up to date on Nintendo gaming for the most part. I talk about some other stuff as well. You can also visit a site that most of us here actually contribute for. It's www.fanboysanonymous.com for all things geek. That, of course, is movies, TV, video games, and much, much more. We hope to find new contributors. I'm sure Tony would love that if we could get more people on board. So check that out if you're interested. Send emails to the site, and Tony will probably take it from there. I'm sure he loves the more plugs for that website, the better, correct?
Yep.
Absolutely.
All right, Paul, you got anything you want to push out there?
I do. I just got a new job doing DJ/karaoke work for Doc's Ultimate Entertainment, DOC''S. We are on Facebook. You can find him through my friends list. We do the local area, so if you're ever in Wisconsin or if you ever need somebody to DJ karaoke for you, give us a call. We do excellent work.
Oh my gosh, you always get these cool things going. Aren't you the one whose family also owns an inflatable funhouse business?
No, that is not me.
Who was that?
That was Drew.
Oh, that was Drew. Okay. Because that was awesome.
I wish I owned an inflatable funhouse because I would be in it right motherfucking now.
I'd be podcasting from my funhouse.
Hell yeah.
Oh gosh, Michael Burhan, push what you got, please.
www.nerdgenius.com. And remember, a podcast that's on this very same network. I've got gameplay, everything about gaming. I've got another vlog coming tomorrow in regards to the disrespect of the media in terms of gaming at the moment. Because I watched a video log from a guy called Angry Joe, and he was at the E3 conference. He just wanted an interview, and they treated him like garbage. So watch out for that, guys. Loads more coming from me. My studio is getting up and running soon, so watch out for that. And any further updates, nerdgenius.com, and make sure that you tune into these very same networks. This network, Mega Powers, Smark Out Moment, and also.
Hey, Michael, what about that movie you got going on?
I'll talk about that when that's officially been released. So yeah, right. That's pretty much it, guys. Thanks very much, and thanks for having me on the show.
Awesome, man. Tony Fatu, I should say. Anything you want these people to know before you leave?
Yeah, I'm actually going to be having my own blog on Fanboys Anonymous, correct? About cosplay and building costumes and stuff. That's my new hobby since I don't wrestle no more. So I'm gonna make some videos about how to do some stuff cheap. You know, if people want to make costumes for cheap, I'm gonna give you guys a couple pointers and just maybe bring cameras when I go to cons and stuff like that, and just bring you guys all the cool cosplay stuff.
Oh, fantastic!
Coming soon. Coming soon.
Maybe a certain wrestling promotion that you want to put over.
No, I don't know. I can't stand independent wrestling, so I don't know any. Anything that comes off the top of my head, don't watch any.
All right, Brandon.
If you're listening to me and you like hearing my dulcet tones talk about all sorts of things, mostly sports, basically whatever the fuck I want to talk about for 2 hours, you can listen to me on Dream Elite Radio every Wednesday on my very own show, Sportaholics Anonymous. Hi, Amanda. I know you're listening to me. That's 8 to 10 o'clock on Blog Talk Radio /Dream Elite. Also, I'll let Paden do that. Me and Paden are going to do Geek Speak tomorrow. I'm totally stoked about that.
Oh, yeah, I got mad Game of Thrones stuff to talk about.
We're gonna have a good ass time tomorrow. So check out the inaugural episode of Geek Speak tomorrow. That's on this very fine Mega Powers radio station. Like Chris Caden's Facebook page, because I know if I don't put him over, I'll get annoying messages.
Hold on, are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me right now with this shit?
Have you guys had a meeting yet?
Yeah, I set up the meeting for him.
Oh, fantastic.
Bro, is that what it's come to? He's got to have you promote all his shit for him?
Yeah, I actually had to write one of his promos.
Oh, my word in heaven. Oh, my God.
We should do this again Friday night, ladies.
Oh, my God. Yeah, other than that, just keep on keeping on. Like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, Vine, Instagram, fuck tout.
Because WWE invested money in it, and their app, which you can get for free now on iOS and Android.
Well, why haven't they integrated tout into their app yet?
I think they're done with tout. I think that was an investment
because tout is a pile of junk. That's why.
Everyone's on Vine shit now, son. You got to get on that Vine jump off.
Mm-hmm. Isn't it like the same thing?
Eventually. All right, Brandon, that's all you got?
Yeah, that's all I got. Bye, Amanda. You can stop listening now.
Bye, Amanda.
Follow Chris Kane and Amanda.
And that great Raymond Risk.
Raymond Risk. Oh, when I get off the phone, I want to talk to you about that, by the way.
Should we head to Uvu? Should we head to Uvu after this?
I got to get some things off my chest. That's all I'm saying.
I just want everybody to know, Mark Henry, that's what he does.
Oh, Lord.
That's what he does.
Tony Mango?
All right, as mentioned before, you can check out the umbrella site for a lot of these different projects, fanboysanonymous.com. If you're interested in that kind of stuff, and there's a whole lot of topics that are underneath that kind of a category, let me know, and you might be able to write for the website. If you're interested in social commentary and brutally honest opinions that are usually pretty damn rude and controversial, check outonlimbs.com for that, and of course smarkoutmovement.com for all the wrestling talk coming from a mango tree. You can go to youtube.com/smarkoutmovement for smack talk. We got another episode coming your way this weekend, and double check Bleacher Report for Anthony Mango. You'll be seeing a lot of more complaints there.
Mango out on Lim's article on bitching about Michael Burhan. It's coming.
It's coming soon.
A little bit more.
A work in progress, actually.
Yeah.
I thought the whole site was bitching about Michael Burhan.
Yeah. It's called the No Michael Burhan Club.
It's the No Michael.
No, it's No Michael Burhan.
We can have fun.
There's only one. We're allowed to have one.
The only kind of a joke that will work with a group like Fanboys Anonymous.
No homers.
Did you mention Smack Talk?
Yep.
I completely.
What about the? Oh, never mind.
What?
I was gonna do the Smark Out Moment Initiative, or whatever the fuck you call it.
Oh, the
Sign Up Initiative. The first
Initiative. There you go. I got this.
He's got your back, Tony.
Go ahead. Smark out moment sign of any kind of WWE event or TNA event and take a picture or video of it, send it to me, and I'll put it up on the show. There you go.
Hey.
He's going to start doing the 1, 2.
Actually talk about TNA. That's funny.
We spent a good portion of the show talking about TNA, which
I know. What the fuck, man?
Free promotion. I said that was way too horrible.
It made me really uncomfortable.
I know.
All right, everyone, if you enjoyed listening to us rant about Raw tonight, we have lots of other fine shows. Be sure to follow this station. It's blogtalkradio.com/megapowers radio. You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter using that same handle, Megapowers Radio. Be sure to support both shows that make this possible. As Anthony said, there's Smark Out Moment, Smack Talk, and I also come from Keeping Kayfabe, where wrestling is still real to us.
Damn it!
You can find all of our stuff that we got going on at keepingkayfabe.com. Most importantly, Keeping Kayfabe Live, which airs on another Blog Talk radio station, blogtalkradio.com/Stream Elite. That's Stream Elite Radio. We air Thursdays at 9 p.m., same time as TNA Impact, because we're going head-to-head with them, and we're going to be taking them out of business. They got
Thursday Night Wars, man.
They got Sting and Hogan over there. That'll put butts in seats.
Remember, TNA is at a new time. Don't forget.
I love how that's become a new running joke. That'll put butts in seats.
Yes.
Can I also say one thing?
What's up?
That I absolutely love the name of this radio show.
Yes, I knew you would.
Yes.
It's a good reference.
The Mega Powers are my all-time favorite tag team. This is the greatest name ever.
Thank you. It's the name of the collaboration between Smack Talk and Keeping Kayfabe. What better name could you have for two shows colliding?
It's actually the reason why I called in tonight. Because Brandon told me, you want to call into Mega Powers Radio, and I was like, oh yeah.
Hey, just be sure that we don't steal Miss Liz away from you.
It's a good thing we didn't go with Allied Powers or Dungeon of Doom or
Dungeon of Doom. That would have been a good one too.
It's gonna be all S&M shows.
we could do a big promo where Brandon gets dropped in the middle of nowhere and he has to fake that he's got this blue. Where am I?
Or you do a promo where he's on the beach and he goes into the water and he's praying to Satan.
Can we put the snake in his wife's wedding present?
Oh.
Master.
All right, people. If you enjoyed our brand of humor, we invite you to check out the other shows we have going on. Starting tomorrow night, every Tuesday at 8 p.m., we're going to have Geek Speak, which is Brandon and various other people. Myself will definitely be there. I'm sure lots of other folks will be joining us. We're just going to be talking about whatever random geek things are on our minds. Game of Thrones, comic books, cartoons, movies, whatever the hell's going on. It's just going to be shooting off the cuff, and it's going to be lots of fun. On Saturdays, you can hear I Got Gameplay, which is a show hosted by Mr. Michael Burhan, as he mentioned earlier. That will be airing live also at 8 p.m. on every Saturday. That's going to be talk about whatever's on our mind in video games. So it's a little more specific than Geek Speak. We're going to try to keep the video game talk to a limit on that show. So if you want to hear video games, go over to the I Got Gameplay show. And also every Sunday where there's a WWE pay-per-view, not TNA, only WWE pay-per-views, we will be doing a live kickoff show. It starts at 6:30 whenever there is one. And we'll probably have other things coming in down the line. So certainly stay tuned to Mega Powers Radio. I'm Mike Paden, for Braeden, for Michael Burhan, for Paul, for Tony Fatu, for Brandon Liggan, for Tony Mango. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Have a wonderful night.
I'm a Tony Fatu guy.